be helpful to others.
Thank you.
So today we are going to start a concept of jQuery. What do you know about jQuery?
Like it's a concept related to the databases, the websites or the web pages.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Leela, do you know something about jQuery?
Mm, thank you.
Yes.
No,
No problem. So have you ever heard about this jQuery?
yes, sir, I heard about
So jQuery is nothing but a scripting API. It is a API. What do you mean by API? So when we go with the Java terminology, API is nothing but a application programming interface. So in the same way here also it is application programming interface. So why we call it as a API? We call it as a API because it comes on the top of JavaScript. So when you are working with JavaScript, you are not including any plugins over here. For example, we have taken something like HTML body input type equal to text, name equal to uname, and here we go with button value equal to click me. So this is nothing but a simple example we have. So here we are just entering the value and performing click me. In order to make this dynamic, what we are going to do, we are going to make it make a use of JavaScript. So JavaScript or anything it might be. So this will be enclosed in a script. So in order to tell script that I want a value of a, we have to perform some event. So we are performing event on this button. So for that purpose, what we have, on click equals to function name, anything. So here I'm giving a function and the name of the function is send data. So all this we have covered, just I'm giving a brush up, and then on the top of this we will be discussing about the jQuery. And here we are going to just we are going to access the value of the username. So Leela, how to access the value of username? This we have discussed in the last class. So Sweta, do you know how to access username? Access in essence, username is
Yes,
in,
sir.
yeah, please go ahead.
Get element by ID.
Perfect, perfect. So you can see that we have sent the value from this text field to the JavaScript function, and from there,
Oh, we couldn't hear you, sir.
oh, I'm sorry. Are you able to hear me?
Oh, yes, sir. Now we can.
Okay. So what I mean to say that from this text field, we have successfully transferred the value to a scripting function. So this is a function over here. So the values has been transferred. So if uname is equal to admin, then you can just use for multiple purpose like http.in.yahoo.com. So here we go with admin. Uname equal to admin. Let me check this. So in the previous classes we have learned how to debug also. So I'm just placing a point at 6. Why not 5 means at 5 the value will be initialized. At 6 you will come to know it is going inside or not. So let me click over here. The flow is stopping over here. You can place a cursor to see the value. So admin. So admin equal to admin. It is true or false. You can come to console and type in this way. Uname double equal to admin. So it is true. So when this is true, then it should go to inner block. We go to the source code and let me click once again. So it is going inside, but it is not redirecting. Window dot location. You can see that location spelling is wrong over here. So even you can set the value from here. So this is nothing but debugging skills. You have to be very strong debugger if you want people to be around with you in your company. So now window.location is this one. So now you can see that it got redirected. So what happened actually? In spite of initializing the value from here, I have initialized from the console. If you practice these videos by pausing it, especially focus on debugging. See, code you will get from internet, anything you will get. But this debugging skills you have to develop from your own. So I'm coming back to the source and I'm just refreshing this. Admin, click here. So when it is admin, it is redirecting to in.yahoo.com. And you can write else also. So this is what a small glance of the JavaScript which we have learned. So in this we have couple of information like how to write a function, what is the use of script tag, what the script tags indicate, and how to call a function, what is the use of window, and let me place the cursor over here, and let me show you some interesting things. So window dot. So these many fields are there in window. Can't imagine also. See, these many things are there. If you want to know something, just place a dot and go for this, whatever you want. What is this window dot array will return? You will get the value instantly over here. Window dot location, window dot storage, local storage. You can study about this one all. Window dot length. What is this all? You can learn about this. So what we have done is we have paused and then we have tried. So if you just come out from the debugging And if you try something over here, then you will be getting in this way the details and all. If you type uname, it will say undefined. Why? Why not window.location? Window.location is something which is talking about the entire window. So your entire window is in active mode, but uname is passed out. So because of that, we stopped over here and then we accessed that value. For example, again the console is stopping over there. So the flow is stopped over there. When I'm typing uname earlier, we got undefined. Now you got admin. Okay? And you can assign the value from here also to the uname. Like administrator. Now if you type uname, it is administrator. So all these things are there. Let me come out from this and go to jQuery. The same developing skills will be used with the jQuery as well. So jQuery support DOM. What is DOM? Can someone tell me what is DOM?
I know only the definition, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Document object model.
Perfect. So what does it mean?
Like it supports the documents. I think so. Everything is like in the documents as an object.
Mm-hmm. So what is node? When so document object model is something which treats every element on screen as a node. So let me explain you what is node. This is known as node. This tag is known as node. So this tag is the parent node for entire nodes and remaining are the descendant nodes. So head parent is HTML, script parent is head, and head and body are siblings. So don't get confused with all these things. DOM means which treats, this might be asked in your interview, what is the meaning of DOM? First of all, you have to tell the abbreviation of that document object model, and then you have to say that it treats the entire thing as a node. If you have a text, then it is called as a text node. If you have a button, then it is called as a button node. So by using this one, uh, jQuery, it also supports DOM. It supports DOM because of that only. It is supporting the scripting concept. Another point with the jQuery is event handling mechanism. So what is event?
Action which is performed is
If you have studied AWT in core Java, you might be aware about it, and there might be a chance like you might have forget about it also. It's not a problem. So we have a button. What this button will do, it will generate an event. So when you click on a button, so clicking is nothing but one kind of event only. So this event is listened by whom? It is listened by the event listener. So who is listening this event here? The function is listening the event. So you are clicking on button. On clicking, you are saying that please call send data. So this send data is getting called in this way. If you make a mistake in send data and if you write something else, the event listener will not be in a proper way. As it is not in a proper way, so it will not listen your event. Let me show you. So I'm clicking, nothing is happening. So event is nothing but action which is performed by the component. So event listening mechanism is very perfectly handled by using a jQuery. I will explain this all points with example. And Ajax support. So Ajax, what is the meaning of Ajax? What is the abbreviation of Ajax? I'm sorry. Asynchronous Java and XML. What do you mean by asynchronous?
Like not same.
What is that?
Not same.
Not same.
Different.
Okay.
Different.
Asynchronous means instance response. For example, you can see that you are getting a response below. You are getting a response without submitting it. What I mean, without clicking on submit, you are getting a response over there. This is known as asynchronous. Asynchronous is something which is like two-way response. So it is something like this. This is your screen, and this is nothing but your database. You are hitting from screen to database, and database is responding to your screen. So without refresh of your page, you're getting a response. This is known as asynchronous response. Let me make it more clear. So here what I'm going to do is I'm just giving my email ID. So you can see that without going to the last button, it is giving me the response over here. It is talking to the database and saying that this ID is already registered. Okay. So this is known as asynchronous. Instance response without submitting it. So the Ajax support is very well, it became very easy to handle, in fact, by using the jQuery, which we are going to see as an example in the next coming classes. Animations. Animations like when you have an image, zooming the image on the other side. Like e-commerce application, if you want to purchase a bag or a jeans or a shoe, then you will be placing a cursor on that. On the other side of the window, it will be displayed on zooming. So these are all animations which will be handling very soon. And it's a very lightweight plugin. It comes with very small size. Due to that, it will be loading very quickly at the browser level. So we will be dealing with this now. Cross-border compatibility, browser compatibility issues can be handled very well. In fact, if you're using jQuery, you will not get any compatibility issue. It will work fine with all the major browsers. So another one is latest technology. It supports well with CSS3, HTML5 and all. So this is what a small introduction about jQuery. So let's move on to step inside jQuery by dealing with a couple of examples of based on jQuery. So before going for jQuery, you should be aware of how to write external JS. External JS means you might have heard about external CSS. So external CSS is nothing but you are creating a CSS file separately, and by using a link you are accessing it. Correct? This we have seen in number of examples. In the same way, we can create, we can access the external JS also. JS means JavaScript. So how to access, what is the syntax of that I will be showing you now. Let me take one example for that. Script source equals to this thing, type equal to, for style sheet CSS we have text by CSS, here you have text by JavaScript, and this will be followed in this way. So this source is nothing but your external JS file. So let me go for one more file here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this complete JS into external file in this way. And let me save also. Make sure you will be saving in the same location. So it is in jQuery. So let me save this one also in jQuery. But here the extension should be JS, like external js.js. So .js is the extension which tells what type of file it is.
Hello.
Yes,
Oh, I didn't get this topic, so can you explain it once again?
yeah, sure. So basically what we are trying to do is the scripting code we are going to write in an external file. This is what scripting code we have, JavaScript code we have. We are trying to write this scripting code in a separate file. Earlier we have studied about how to write a CSS code in a separate file. When you separate CSS in a separate file, then it is called as external CSS. When you separate JavaScript code in a separate file, then it is called as a external JS. So you can see that I have separated my code in a separate file. Okay. So this separate file I have saved with .js extension. Okay. Now what I am going to do is I am going to just save, call this external JS file, and same, the rest of the code is same. Now you can see that here you don't have any script code in this HTML file. You have a script code in a separate file with name external JS. So that file is nothing but this one. Are you following, guys? Let me summarize what I am trying to do. I am trying to separate the JavaScript code into a separate file. So what is a separate file name? External js.js. When I have separated code in a separate file, I have to call this file in my HTML code. Correct? So this is a way of calling that file. Is this clear? Sweta and Leela?
Oh, yes, sir. So we should give the name and the extension too?
Extension will be JS.
Oh, .js, yes.
Correct. So here let me give something else. Now let me give, so you can see that event is not getting happened. So let's check why it is not happening. So here you can see that in the logs you can see when you click on console it is saying that I'm calling a function data SSS. Let me remove this because in external file we have a function named send data, so it should get mapped over here. Let me reload. So now you can see that same functionality is working fine. Now if you come to source, here you can see that you have one.html also and external js.js also. So your file got loaded here. If I remove this file from here, then your program, your HTML file will not work properly. So let me try this. Let me click over here. When I am clicking, nothing is happening. Let me come to the console. In the console, you can see that file is missing. Can you tell me which file is missing?
HTML.
External JS file.
Yes. So in this way, we will be loading the external JS file. Now, external JS is there. This will work according to your requirement. So we learned how to deal with external JS here. So what jQuery has done is, jQuery has used this advantage. It has developed some couple of plugins like Bootstrap. You have seen Bootstrap has seen that developers are getting a pain, designers are getting a pain in writing a class and handling a class. So what it has done, it has developed a separate plugin for that. In the same way, jQuery has also developed a separate plugin. So we have to download that plugin first. So the name of the plugin is jQuery.min.js. So it's an open source, you can download it. So here you will be getting a compressed version, uncompressed version. So uncompressed version means it will be a development version, and compressed version means it will be a production version. So right now it's not a time to explain you the difference. Please remind me at the end of the classes of the jQuery. I will explain you what is production version and what is development version. Okay? Because this is a very hot topic in the interview question. What is the difference between jQuery min.js and jQuery 1.5.js? So as I'm in a development mode, so I'm going for development version. So you can see that the file got downloaded here. Let me pick this file from here. Let me go to my folder. I'm just pasting. I'm removing the other jQuery plugin. So here what we have 1.2.0. So take this file name and in place of external.js, we are going to call a jQuery function, a plugin. So it will be called as jQuery 1.12.0.js. So now I'm going to,
Sir, I have a question.
okay,
So it's like same as the Bootstrap. So we are adding the external plugins in the script as itself.
correct. So it's similar to Bootstrap. Bootstrap deals with
Okay.
CSS and this deals with JS. Okay,
Okay, interesting. Then there we will use like if we want a table, then we will just go with the table name, the format of the table, and we go. But here we are using the source of full downloaded version of the jQuery. So,
correct.
uh, thank you.
So, oops, something happened. So let me close this and reload this and verify whether the jQuery got loaded or not. So jQuery got loaded. You can see that this is what full version of jQuery. It has nearly 11,000 lines of code. So we are least bothered about this, what is there inside as if now. We are going to just use this one. So we are good up to here. So we have just loaded the jQuery. So in Java, we have a main method. What is a main method? Public static void main. In the same way, in jQuery, we have this method. So this method will be common throughout. So dollar document dot ready function. So I'm sorry. So here we have a function so called dollar document dot ready. Since dollar is a representation of jQuery, so you have to remember this forever. This function will be forever used. So when this function will be called, this function will be called whenever your screen loads. So this is nothing but a script language only. So you have to enclose this in a script tag. Okay. So this is a main method. So here let me remove this debug point. So I'm loading it. Nothing is happening because we have not written anything. The one advantage of jQuery is jQuery supports all the features of the JavaScript. So if you want to write any JavaScript in jQuery, you can write it. In fact, jQuery internally calls JavaScript. So I don't want to go in that deep at the beginning level. So just I want to go with some examples as if now. So let's display hello world. So you can see that what I said you when it will be loaded. So whenever your screen loads, that time that code will get called. Which code? jQuery code. Okay. So let's step in depth now. One step towards in deep. So let me summarize. Using jQuery. If you want to use jQuery, the first step is you should go with the jQuery plugin. So this is what plugin we have, and once you load the plugin, the second step is you have to write the main function. So this is nothing but a syntax of main function. So when this main function will be called, this main function will be called whenever you load your screen. Now, next level. What I'm going to do is I'm going to deal with button. Let's take button now. Button tag. Click me. This is nothing but button. So what I want is whenever the button get clicked, if you're confused, you can go with input type equal to button also. Value equal to click me. So when I click on button, I should get an alert. This is what initial requirement. Let's take in this way. So jQuery comes handy with multiple things. So if you deal the same thing in JavaScript, what is required? You have to write on click and you will be calling. So but jQuery, you will be calling in this way. Let me give some ID here. jQuery works mainly with attributes. So what is the ID? I'm giving ID as button. So we have learned in CSS, when you deal with ID, it will be hash. When you deal with class, it will be dot. So here we are using ID. So this will be hash dot click. So this is nothing but a syntax of click function. You might not be getting in this thing in a single tutorial. What is required is you have to watch this video. You have to practice the existing one first, and then you will be getting twice thrice. Once you practice this, then you will be getting a clarity on this. So what I'm doing is button clicked. I'm just conveying a message here. So we have a button, so nothing is happening, no problem. If you're doing something and if it is working instantly, it means that you're not learning anything. If you're doing something and you're getting something wrong, and if it is working, then by correcting it, then it means that you are learning something. So what was the error? I have written hash because ID. So name of the ID also have to specify. The name of the ID is button. So you can see that button clicked. Now let me put some more words on this. You can see that you have separated completely your scripting code from HTML code. Correct? By seeing this, you can't say that you are calling any script function or what. You will not judge easily. If you write this thing with the JavaScript, then you will see on click function name, and you will be getting a function name, and you can move to that function name very quickly. But by using a jQuery, you will not easily pick what is happening over there. Okay? Because this can be in the external JS also. jQuery separates a scripting code from HTML code. You will not write any line of code related to the jQuery function name or something in HTML code. You will be separating this. So this is click is not only applicable with button. You can even apply this click on paragraphs. So what does this mean? If you paragraph tag I have taken, if you click on paragraph tag, then we should get something so called text clicked. So you got it. Okay? In the same way, you can write multiple things here. Let me write button also. You don't have to go for multiple functions again and again. You can get it very quickly and easily in a single function. So let me reload. So here we have clicked on the text, and here we have clicked on button. Okay? So guys, are you following? So let me go a bit deeper. There are multiple functions here. With this, I thought of explaining you about array. Array I will take next. So paragraph. So if you don't want to go with button, you can go with input. You can go with tags, I mean to say. Let me try this. You can see that. So what is a tag here? Input tag. What is a tag here? P tag. Okay. So there is something so called hide and show. So what I want is I want the paragraph to be hidden. If I click on paragraph, I want to hide that paragraph. That you can do it in this way. It got hidden. So if you want to give some animations, you can apply some animations also on that. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to click on paragraph. Okay. For hide and show example, I'm pausing this. I'm just holding this video here so that later you can pause it and you can write the code. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to explain you a bit something related to hide and show. I have a div and I'm calling this div as hello world. So, how to call click functionality? Div dot click of function. You have to be very curious with these openings and closings. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the div. Div. I would like to apply some CSS also on this div. So how to apply? Oops, it's jumping from there. So here we go. Background color as red is not good. Let me go with light blue. So when I'm clicking over here, it will go off. If you want to make it go a bit slow, you can just increase the timeout over here. So this is going very slow. So in the same way, we have something so called show. So I'm hiding it. On the click of button, I want to show it. Click me to show. So now I'm going to perform an event on button. So you can go with input also, or else you can go with ID also. As I have not used ID for button, you can see that here I didn't write any ID. So I'm going with the tag name. So dollar dot, what you want to show? You want to show a div. So in place of hide, you can use show. Let me refresh. Oh, it's going very slow. To decrease some time interval here. So I'm clicking on text, it's hiding. Clicking on this, it's displaying. So display also, you can increase the time. So this is getting hidden and this is getting displayed. So this is nothing but hide and show. Now in the same way you try for mouse enter, mouse down, mouse up, hover. Let me deal with CSS because this is quite tricky. So we have uh, something so called jQuery, not only jQuery, JavaScript, all scripting language supports CSS as well. So if you want to add any CSS, the one way is you have to add it in the style. And if you want to override that CSS, or you want to add some new things in the CSS, you can simply add it over here, comma 300. On what? On diff. So what I'm doing is I'm in providing the width. Let me give this width also in double quotes. Oops. You can see that width got applied over here. Even if you want to provide some height, in spite of writing, you can write it in this way: dollar of diff dot css hei height comma 300. All CSS properties you can apply over here. Okay. So in spite of writing this two lines of code, you can go with dot css height comma 300. So same thing. So let me change this with 1300, or let me make this as 100. Then it looks like we have changed something. Yeah, you can see. And if you don't want to provide a background in style, what you can do is remove this style from here, provide it over here, dot css. What we have given background color as blue. So let me give some other color so that it will reflect light pink. So you have learned something like how to write a functions in jQuery, and you can see even you have separated the entire scripting code, CSS code from HTML. You can put this complete scripting code in an external JS file also. So for that you have to create the external JS first. So we have already created. So let me use that external js.js type equal to text by JavaScript and script. So this complete script function I'm removing from here and putting in a external file. This is what external file. And when you make it as .js, you don't have to write a script tag because it is completely a script only. So let me come back over here and let me show you. You can see that external JS also got loaded, jQuery and 1. If you see the jQuery code, sorry, HTML code, you don't have a single line of code relates to script. In the body tag, you can see you don't have anything related to script. In this way, you are providing us security. If you provide on click over here, people can debug and track the function. Okay, the same functionality will work over here because it is calling the external JS file. If you are, if you want, you can just put a debug point over there. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on button. So I have to put a debug point on button. Let me refresh. Um, so here is a flow stopping and here it is stopping. and finally loading a screen. Okay, so if you want to go inside, if you want to stop the console over here, you can just simply call it in this way. On the click of button, input tag is the name of the button, and diff and this. One last point now for the today's class. Let me remove all this. You can apply the CSS also in this way. Not only for CSS, it is for all. If you specify star over here, it means that it is for entire screen. So you can see that the entire screen got blue. So star means for entire screen. So finally what we have learned today is we have learned what exactly how exactly does external JS works. That is nothing but how to import the external JS, and then we have learned how to import the plugin of the jQuery and from where we should download, and we have also learned something how to write a function in jQuery and how to separate that function into a external file. So thank you for watching. If you have any question, you can stay on the call. If not, you can drop off.
Uh,